Hi, my name is Ian, and this is Life Skills by Ian. Today we are going to talk about stress. So, what is stress? At its basic, stress is the body's reaction to an outside event. The best example that I can think of is if you're walking along a path and all of a sudden you see a bear. What's going to happen is your body is going to react to this event. It's going to start to produce more adrenaline or cortisol. It's going to divert blood flow into areas where it's needed. Your pupils will most likely dilate. Your breath will probably sharpen. The body's going to prepare itself either to fight or run. It's called the fight or flight response. We've heard this 1,000 times. So stress is a natural reaction. Now, what has happened is over the last 30 years, due to changes in environment, technology, personal, everything, this fight or flight response has been occurring at a low level, constantly, every day. And that's not good. So constantly our body is in this fight or flight response. So why is this? Well, one of the reasons is technology. We are constantly plugged in. Cell phones, emails, computers, constantly barraged by information and data. And it's overwhelming to our systems. Another one is workload. So over the last several years, what's happened is the baby booming generation is starting to retire. Now, corporations are not replacing those people for the most case. What they're doing is they're reshuffling the workload. So you have the people that are left potentially doing more work than they were before. That's going to cause stress. Another thing that's causing stress is just the environment. So we tend to spend less time outside. We tend to spend less time in activities with natural sunlight. We are underneath fluorescent lights quite a bit. That tends to cause stress. General life. There's always been life stresses for eons. It's always been around. What's happened nowadays is life seems to become more complex. Even what should be the simplest things, like for example, registering a child into kindergarten, you know, is an ordeal, is an event, is more complicated than what one would actually sit down and think it should be. So that's causing more and more stress. So how do you know if you are under stress? Like how do you know if stress is an issue? Well, this is where it gets tricky because it is so elusive and evasive and it happens at such a slow pace that you don't know it until it's almost too late. But there are some early warning signs. One is your sleep patterns. So how are you sleeping? Do you sleep well? Are you up in the middle of the night? Are you restless at night? Do you wake up tired? Um, those are good indicators of whether or not you might be under stress. How are you generally feeling? Are you tired? Do you have a little bit of energy? Are you lively? So if you're tired all the time, there's a possibility that it could be stress. Anxiety and depression. Do you seem to be suffering more from anxiety or depression than maybe you have in the past? Like everybody gets sad, but is it starting to become an issue? Do you suffer from more stomach aches, back pains, muscular pains? Do you have issues with your bowel? Do you have more colds than maybe what you've normally had? These are all uh, potential triggers, or sorry, potential signs that you are under a lot more stress than what you think. So, what do you do? What do you do then? Uh, how do we reduce the stress? How do we try to stay healthy? Well, the first and foremost is you need to evaluate. So you need to be honest with yourself. What can help here is if you go and find some professional help. I personally went to a psychologist, and she helped me quite a bit is to map out where in my life were the key stressors. For me, it was work, and there were certain aspects of my home life which were causing stress. So that can definitely help, but you need to sit down and be really honest and upfront with whomever you're talking to say, hey, this is what's going on. Once you've evaluated and gotten an idea, then you can set up a plan. So one of the areas which will most likely come up as a stressor will be work. Now it could be somebody at work, or it could be the work itself. So now you've got a lot of choices here. So you can either go and talk to HR, maybe you need to change jobs, maybe you need to get out of that particular department. Maybe you need to, or maybe you need to leave. So look at where you're working now, talk to them, find out if there's changes that can be made. If you're not getting anywhere, maybe it is time to change. I recently went through a change in my job, where I was actually laid off. And I'm actually going to a new organization, which is going to be a significantly better fit for me. Because one of the things that I found was I was really starting to get tired of the commute. My original job, I was actually traveling about 2 hours a day. Now with the new occupation, I'll be about 5 minutes a day, and that's gonna make a huge difference. So it's that kind of stuff you need to look at. If it's family, so if one of your key stresses are family, make sure you sit down and talk to your family. Don't go out and get a divorce attorney and stuff like that. Just go down, sit down, and talk to them. Find out if there's things that chores or something can be juggled. Uh, Talk to your spouse about money. Make sure you guys are open and honest about money. Money is a huge stressor in relationships with family, one of the largest, actually. Um, so make sure you can have those open and honest discussions. Uh, One of the things that I ran into is my wife is the much better parent. So, and I fought that for a long, long time. But what I did is I went out and I got some outside help on how to be a better parent, and I deferred to her more. I said, "You teach me some of your techniques." Now, it's not going to be immediate. It wasn't with me. So, but I'm continually learning and I'm getting better at it. And it can help reduce the stress too. Uh, Find something you love to do. So, if find a hobby of some sorts, whether it's golf or build Lego or whatever. I have a friend of mine who builds massive jigsaw puzzles. It takes him like 3 years to do it. And one of the things that he told me was it definitely helps him with his stress. And that's great. If jigsaw puzzles are your thing, absolutely. Find space, do that. One of the keys is you need to make sure that you are carving time out every day for you. So I'm a firm believer in taking about an hour a day for you to read, work out, do something, but it has to be just for you. You got to have your family time, you got to have your work time, and you got to have you time, because it's that you time which will help you recoup from the stresses of the day. At least for me, that is important in my stress management process. Vacation. Okay, let's talk vacation. When you go on vacation and you know who you are, if you take your work cell phone with you on vacation, you are not on vacation. I had a boss who went away on vacation for 3 weeks, and we received an email from him, and he was overseas. We received at least once a week for 3 weeks. We sent 3 emails. He's not on vacation. Go on vacation. Leave your stuff at home. Work will be there. People at work will take care of it. Okay? Don't worry about that stuff. You need this time to decompress and to unwind. It will make you healthier and it will help you deal with stress. Turn off your devices. When you get home, turn off your work cell phone. Don't turn off your home cell phone. Every once in a while, don't turn on the TV. That all helps. Just get away from the electronics. Get away from being tied in, for an hour or two, and it will definitely help. Exercise. You got to get your exercise in. Doesn't matter what it is, but you got to be active. That definitely will help as well. It helps clear the brain. Also, if you're like me and if you're running or doing something like that, sometimes you do your best thinking and you come up with some great ideas during that time. But more importantly, what it allows you to do is it will clear out that system. It'll get rid of some of that adrenaline. It'll get rid of some of that cortisol. etc. Other things that can help: uh, massage, chiropractic, especially massage, can definitely help. Um, Diet. Okay, if you're like me, you get stressed out, you go straight to the sweets, go straight to the cookies. You want to make sure that you're eating properly. You want to make sure that you're eating a balanced diet, fruits and vegetables. You want to make sure that you're getting those good proteins. Um, Try to maybe stay away from the processed carbohydrates, things like your pastas and whatnot. Everyone, this is each to their own, but there's a lot of sugar in that type of stuff. Try to stay away from the sugar. The sugar is one of the keys that I'm finding, especially with stress, is if you can decrease your sugar intake, it definitely helps with stress. So why is it important to deal with stress? Why is it important to have stress management techniques? Well, I read a couple of articles, and one of the articles said that probably in the next 10 years, stress related illness will be the number one reason why a person goes to their doctor or goes to the hospital. So you're going to be seeing increases in heart disease, increases in strokes, increases in autoimmune diseases. And a lot of these things are related to stress. The other thing is the number one reason for lost work is stress, by far. So people go on stress leave or stress illness, the lost time, lost productivity is huge. So companies are starting to invest in making sure that employees have ways to reduce stress or manage stresses through that are occurring through work. Um, you know, for you and your health, you need to make sure that you're managing the stress in your life. And don't sit there with your head buried in the sand and say, yeah, well, that's just for somebody else. No, it might be for somebody else up to a certain point in time, but everybody, every single one of us needs to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to manage our stress. So anyways, thanks very much. If you liked, please subscribe, and we'll talk to everyone later.